You have come, as he said you might. Have you found our king, Bizarane, waiting for you in Cursewood? The Winterfae need your help, but it is only Bizarane's place to tell you of our plight. Remember. Please, remember.
And so you have come. Whether to aid the house or rain punishment on the Tuatha, I do not know. That you are here is enough. To assuage your confusion, I am Bizarane, king of the house. During your trials, I will observe and communicate to you through this medium. This is about you, of course. You are the only mortal to be given a chance to join the House of Sorrows. But do not think such an offer is given out of honor or respect for you. What drives me to this offer is what brought you here. Necessity. Through the crystal you see before you, it is not magical in and of itself, but a conduit for my own magic. All your actions will be known to me. Every word will be listened to. What you do is of no concern to me. What I hope to evaluate is what you are, to know how you might best help the house. I have locked the way behind you. The way forward is your only path out of these halls. I can tell you no more, other than that I will be watching.
The beast will kill me if you do not help. Beast roam these halls, mortal. Once these lands were quiet, gentle. Now they mean to kill all that tread upon it, even the winter fae. My people have lived in peace for decades, centuries. But now we're awash in war and corruption, and we cannot stop it. I do not know. The midden, it has been sullied. We've never feared such assaults until recently. Wait, what was that? It is here!
you have completed your first trial. Your actions spoke volumes, but your reactions are just as pertinent. You killed the creature that was chasing that woman. Why? It would be at great fault if I did not know something of you, the mysterious mortal without a fate to call his own. Your lack of fate is intriguing, I will admit. And although it is why I summoned you, it does not represent the whole of your nature. Hence, the need for evaluation. Ahead, you will find a Fae of Sorrows succumbing to poison. I am interested to see what you make of him.
Please, are you the mortal that Bizarrain has brought to aid us? The one he is promised? Thank mercy I have been poisoned. But now that you are here, you can kill me. Please, end my suffering. I do not know. It is some poison. In other times, the Fae would not be vulnerable to this. But we are weaker now. We are prone. I could have walked from this once. But now... Please, mortal. I know it's strange, but the Fae are not like you. Death is different to us. I will rise once more in time, but killing me will let me escape this suffering. I do not know. Everything is blurred. I do not even know where I am. It must have been him. He does whatever he cares with his subordinates. It was Bizarrain. He was meant to save us from the Tuatha, to preserve our oldest traditions, to protect the Winter Fae. Thank you for ending this.
is something you readily deliver, it seems. But did that Fae die as a result of your mercy or your barbarity? To see what you will do, clearly. Is something you readily deliver, it seems. But did that Fae die as a result of your mercy or your barbarity? I lead a court of Winter Fae who wish to free these lands from the Tuatha, and we have gone too long without new blood. You have demonstrated substantial worth. One trial remains. You have reached this chamber at last. The time of trial is over. No more apparitions, no more questions. The House of Sorrows has always held a precarious position in this world, and now we hold on to it by the tips of our fingers. You think you have broken the Tuatha's grip on Cluracan. You have not. Even now, the Winter Fae and the House of Sorrows are subject to their malice. I am the King of Sorrows. I have held dominion over these halls, over this house, over the Winter Fae who dwell here. But the war upon Cluracan has sapped me of my strength. Should these times continue, I may become nothing. Nothing at all. It is we who permit the Winter Fae to rise above their basic nature, to foster decay and ruin. A nature that normally divides rather than unites. For a time, the House avoided the war that cleaves this land. But now that war is upon us, and we are not ready. I am not one to take anything on faith. If I wish to know an object's worth, I examine it for myself. This trial is designed to demonstrate your mettle. Because there are trials that I can observe from afar, and others that I must see at hand. We have reached the trial that I must be present for, if I am to test you truly. What you need to do and why you must do it are two very different matters, mortal. I deal in instructions, not explanations. Nor could you have fought me if you had chosen to do so. What you see before you is but an apparition. Now that your trial has concluded, come with me. The Tuatha have yet to break down our doors, but I would not put that past them. The house is poised to collapse from the Tuatha's dissension and destruction, and I need one to help us. I know it is not the mortal way to test someone in a manner such as this. The beast, the poison, it was all done out of necessity. I did not need you to understand the trial. I only needed it completed. I do not have time for you to meet the struggles of the house unprepared. Some, your reactions were real, but the Fae with whom you interacted, Tybri, Kadarok, and myself, were not. They were but apparitions of the Fae you will come to know in this house. As facsimiles, the apparitions were appropriate enough, but I think you will find their real-world counterparts more complex. Then welcome to our ranks, mortal. The Hearthstone I gave you at the start of the trials will now reflect your affinity with us. Come, join me at the House of Sorrows. I will show you a world stranger than you have ever seen. The Prince of Sorrows once, but now, no longer. He wages a war against the Tuatha with little support but his own strength. Perhaps that is enough for him, but the only thing he will weaken is the house's morale. To your kind, it is a celebration of war. But before your mortal corpses were hung there by Tuatha, it was the emblem of our house's duty. The most reverent corpses were placed not in the midden, but hung upon those boughs to show all of nature that we still revere our essence of decay. But like all things in these lands, the tree has been defiled by war. Saturnin took our greatest symbol and turned it to filth. My summer brethren embody the growth and progression of nature. As such, establishing the summer realms came easy to them. But the winter fae bear the burden of regression and decay in their essence. Left alone, they would never be able to overcome such a weight. They could never unite. The house's founder, the Weeping King, took on their sorrows and freed them. We carry the burden inherent in the winter fae, so they can achieve greatness. The House of Sorrows made a pact with the Tuatha. They would not interfere with us if we did not interfere with their war with the Alfar. Of course, the Tuatha did not trust us, so they insisted that a new king be appointed to the house, one agreeable to both parties. In the end, I was the one chosen. I was to be king. But in answering that call, I have been labeled a traitor by many within the house. He is the agent of the Tuatha, and though he bears their allegiance, his appearance is that of a winter fae. I am certain of it. I know little of him, but of me and my house, his knowledge is wide and deep. With every action, he reveals that he is merely toying with us. He is not a type of foe I am familiar with, for he does not attack outright. Instead, he instills fear and despair. The Midden is the cradle in which our race of winter was fostered. It is a place of rot, of decay, a place where the House of Sorrows holds reign. The Fa Kelidae, they call themselves. The Faithful. They take the Fae of Winter and craft them into an army. But they know little of true devotion. If we are to discuss the plight of the house, I will do so at his heart. Come, Meet me in the main hall of the House of Sorrows, and we will speak more.
Mortal, there is something that requires the attention of one of your kind. You have been to the Midden, yes? The sacred ground being desecrated by the corpses of your kind? The gallows tree is the silent sentinel of the Midden, demonstrating how life grows out of death. It justifies our existence, defines it. It is a symbol not only of the House of Sorrows, but of the Winter Fae. To bear one's corpse upon it was a sacred rite, until the Tuatha defiled it with mortal remains. The nature of my request is not something the Midden needs, but something the Midden should do without. The corpses of your brethren have been thrown into the Midden as a declaration of hostility by the Tuatha. But they do more than signify a point. Their corruption and rot have drawn an ancient Lianshi Mithra from slumber. She gluts herself on the bodies and will further corrupt the Midden if unchecked. To feed, Lianshi are drawn to death and decay, something Winter Fae embody in spirit, but which mortals embody in flesh. When mortal corpses began appearing in the Midden, Mithra was unable to resist the temptation before her, and now she runs rampant. You cannot hope to solve the problem with a simple application of violence. Biathra is old, and she is wise to obvious attacks on her. Searching will yield no quarry, so you must be cunning. If we cannot find her in the Midden, we can force her to return to her den beneath the house. Find fresh corpses, the ones Mithra prefers to eat, and cremate them. With no food to scavenge, she will return to her den. Then you can kill her. Make haste.
Speak. I have a task for you. Of late, there are many in this house who have come to view my authority with disdain. As such, there is need of someone unbiased by our house's history and the traditions therein. Someone such as you. We must move quickly. The Tuatha will not hold their strikes for long. Let us stop their next blow. You fail to understand. Although the Tuatha wage war with us, as they have with the Alfar, they do so by other methods. Our enemies are subtle. They target individuals, not armies. They strike at convictions, not cities. And by doing so, they can retreat to where we cannot find them. For all our years of struggle, we know only this: that our enemy is led by a Tuatha agent, Saturnin. He is the master of this shadowy coup. We cannot right now. He hides himself and covers his tracks well. But I have a lead which you will investigate with one of our delvers, Tybri. A tender, Catarak, has fled the house and killed a fellow member in doing so. I suspect Saturnin's influence, or perhaps that Catarak might be Saturnin himself. Bring Tybri to the body of Catarak's victim. Though dead, the sorrows will remain on the corpse. The sorrows can lead us to Catarak. Members of the house may choose one of two paths. The path of the Delver, or the path of the Tender. Delvers are those who commune with the sorrows of the living Fae and the recently deceased. They draw forth these sorrows and assume them. However, most Delvers lost their talent over these last few centuries. But our youngest, Tybri, shows some promise. The Tenders are those sacred few who oversee the decay and decomposition of a Winter Fae's body. They also oversee the Midden itself. For like a body, the Midden is a physical thing, a vessel for rot and ruin, that which is required for death to become rebirth. Finally, they once tended to the gallows tree, but that was before the Tuatha perverted it.
The Tuatha have sullied our gallows tree.
Greetings, mortal. I am a tender of the Midden. I have been instructed to offer you what insight I can give about the art of dispelling. Remember.